When we're working with our consumers who are new to vision loss, not new to vision loss, we want to talk about labeling. Labeling is key, and it helps us be most efficient. When we think about nowadays technology, we know meta glasses exist, AI exists. Using your phone is a great tool, but it shouldn't be the first line of defense. When we're thinking about labeling, using our fingertips is more effective and more efficient than taking out your glasses and being like, yo, Meta, what's up? Like, what do I have in front of me, all right? That can be a nice added layer and a nice piece of support, but it shouldn't be our first thing. So this first binder that I have is all for clothing labeling methods. So you guys will be able to check out, we have a piece of fabric with safety pins. These are called quilting safety pins. They're sharper. They have a little bit of a hook to them, so they're easier to put through. And on it are Braille tags. These Braille tags are numbers, so it's numeric indicator with the letter A for number 1. You know, you might be thinking to yourself, all right, like what does number 1 mean? I don't know. Number 1 might be brown, could mean blue, could mean purple, I don't know. Or it could be all of my number 1 clothing tops go with my number 1 bottoms. It's what makes the most sense for the consumer, but this is just one method, the number method, okay? Again, it doesn't need to make sense to us, it needs to make sense for the consumer. The next method is these tags, same idea, the Braille, pre-brailled tags. This one says WH for white, this one says TL for teal in Braille. So again, take teal and white, right? These ones are sewn in. The clients can either sew them in themselves or have someone sew it in on their behalf. Whatever makes the most sense.
Yeah, some consumers that use the safety pins with those as well.
Yep, yeah, and
Yeah.
so why we
Like
have all the
sewing.
different ways is to show
Yeah.
that there's no one method.
Mm-hmm.
By using a safety pin, what's great is you take it off, you wear your shirt all day. When you go home, you relabel your shirt, because these safety pins and tags can go through the washer and the dryer, and then they come out and they're labeled and ready to go. So I usually say, yeah.
You need like rust-free safety pins or something.
Mhm.
Yeah. The quilt ones are rust-free, and these tags are as well. So that's another option. You can sew them in. I think it would be uncomfortable to wear it all day.
Yeah, that's what most of my consumers
yeah.
are like, oh, I don't want those, I don't want to have to wear it all day. And I'm like, well, you don't have to sew it in,
Yeah.
so.
Which is perfect. These are safety pins that have little Braille bumps on them. I always forget what these are called, matchmakers. I don't actually think that they make these anymore, so I'm not even going to show this off. But they're basically safety pins with bumps on them. How we make these nowadays, and this would be if a consumer was okay with this sensation, but you could use.
You have that in the book too,
Oh, I
Tina.
do?
Yeah, you do.
Look at me. All right, forget it. I'll show you in a minute. All right, these are called identi buttons. These are different shaped buttons that are either, you can either say, oh, this shape means red, or this is a red button. I can see the red. You can safety pin or stitch. You can also use them to match. Any button that is this shape, I can then wear with these pants. I always like to show this off to see what a person's initial tactile discrimination is. So I would say, put your hand on this page and find the triangle. Can they identify a triangle? Do they know what a triangle is? And can they locate it with the other hand? What's their level of frustration? What's their understanding? Do they have good organization? Because that is like a pre-Braille reading skill that allows me to know what their predisposition is for using a method like this. So those are identi buttons. This is fabric paint. We all know puff paint. It's an option. It's hard to do on your own. It's easy to make a mess. It is something that you would wear all day, so once it's done, you never have to do it or worry about it again. But, you know, it can be tedious, and you can only label so many things at once, because unless you have a table this big to label every single shirt, you're gonna label one shirt and you have to leave it just so it you know, dries and you can't touch it. So there's that thing to think about. But I have it in Braille bump, so this is a letter J. I don't actually know what color J would be. This is my jelly shirt, I don't know. This is my
Jade.
Yeah, jade. Oh, that makes way more sense than jelly. You can do shapes, you can do letters, you can do numbers. It's really up to you. On this page, I have fabric with all different types of safety pins. I have safety pins that are attached to one another in a line, meaning this is my striped shirt. I have safety pins that are crisscross. This means this is a striped, or excuse me, a plaid or a patterned shirt. I have safety pins with different beads, different shaped beads, different amount of beads. This can all mean whatever it means to the client. This may mean nothing to us, but if it makes sense to the consumer, then that's all that matters. One thing to note is if they don't want to wear this on their shirt and they unhook it, the bead can fall off. So you might either want to use hot glue to keep the beads on there or something else, or they just wear it. A lot of people think safety pins need to go at the back of the neck, but that's not true. When your shirts are hanging in the closet, if they're facing whatever way, it should be at the hem. So it's hanging down past your pants anyway, and you wouldn't feel it all day. And you're easily able to feel inside the bottom of their hem and go into your closet and feel each shirt at once instead of trying to get behind the hanger to behind the neck. Similarly with the pants, you can do on the cuff down by your pant leg. So when they're hanging, you can feel them all really easily. All right, that's clothing labeling, yeah.
I do have some, not someone that I've worked with, but I've seen